I want to talk a little bit now around, well, what are systems exactly? And so we get a real clear picture, because the picture that you have in your head might be different from the systems and processes that I'm talking about. Maybe you've worked in a big organization. Maybe you've seen ISO certification and you're used to these long, detailed, super painful, clunky systems and processes that introduce red tape. We kind of do the opposite of that. Systems, the goal here is to improve creativity. And I don't want you to tell you how to suck eggs. I know that you're intelligent and I want to just give you what you need. And I'll show you how we're going to make this easy and fun. Because you might already be following systems and you might not even realize it just yet. So I don't know if you use a recipe when you're cooking, when you're at home and you're making a cake or something like that. A recipe is kind of like a system. And there's probably a range of different things in your life that you do that you kind of follow a process or a way of doing things or a routine. Maybe inside the business, it's how you answer the phone or how you handle an incoming lead when it comes to the client, how you meet with a client, how you set up a particular machine, or the way that you might set up a project. Some of these things you might just do because it's like a routine. A routine is like a system that you've internalized. You've done things a certain way over a period of time, and now that's your way of doing things. So some of systems are documented and others aren't documented. What we like to do is we like to document our systems like we do a recipe. So much like when we're baking a cake, we want to make it so it's obvious and easy to follow and something that can then be passed on to newer team members so they can learn the ropes. Over time, you might learn how it's done and you internalize it and it becomes second nature. Like that does happen as well. And you'll kind of see this example here. If we think about how something might happen automatically, and this along here is, the number of repetitions. How many times do you have to do something before it starts to happen automatically? When you first start out, you're learning via systems because you don't necessarily know how to do the thing. This is the first time you're learning on how to bake the cake. So we review the system, we learn the recipe, we follow the recipe, we look at the recipe when we're doing it. Over time, the first time we do it, it's kind of like when we're learning it and we might meet with a team member, a supervisor, and we can ask questions and get their help. Over time, then next time, or after we've done it a couple of times, we can just do it on our own, following the systems ourselves. We're looking at the recipe. And there'll probably become a point where, something over here, it's almost like the habit. There's a point where you do something enough times and then you become unconsciously competent of this. You can now just do it. It's part of the way that you do things. And that's really, we're working towards here, but you might be starting down here, and we use systems as a way to do that. As I said, these systems are everywhere. And if you just stopped for a moment now and thought about all of the systems that are going on inside your business and this role, and you can extend it out to your life, these systems happen. And we just want to bring them into conscious awareness so they're there. And then we've captured, hey, this is the way that we do things here. And that's what's articulated in a system. So you're probably already following these systems. So now we want to think a little bit about, well, what is a system? There's been a lot of talk about what a system is so far. And I talked about some of the terminology right at the start that people use, whether it's process systems, SOPs, workflows, playbooks. Like there's a lot of different names that do it. And oftentimes I'll ask someone, think of a business that's well systemized. And they'll think of McDonald's. That's oftentimes one of the first ones. Like they're the poster child of a systemized business. And often what happens is people then might have a picture in their head of, well, what do McDonald's systems look like? Well, they have this thing called Hamburger University. I don't even know if you knew that, but you can study hamburgerology and you'll go to a university and they will teach you how to make a hamburger. And some people see that and they've got these big, thick binders that tell you absolutely everything about how to run a McDonald's hamburger joint. And then they think, oh, well, that's what systems are. But we don't run a hamburger business here. So we don't need to design systems as though we're running a hamburger and business. Not only that, they are oftentimes recruiting for only brand new team members that are 15 years old and it's their first job and they've got no experience and they need to train them a certain amount of things to get them up to a certain standard. But here we hire intelligent people like you to do your job, and we know that you've got a lot of knowledge. So I don't need to create systems like we're running a hamburger joint because our business is very different. So I want to break that model that you've got in your head about what systems are. Systems aren't about introducing red tape. It's actually the opposite. It's about simplification. And we want smart people like you to be able to do extraordinary things. So when we talk about system, all I'm talking about, to really kind of simplify it, this is my little definition here. It's a series of steps. There we go. Well, let me fix that up because our systems are always improving as we go. There we go. A series of steps that produce a consistent outcome. So we're talking about identifying a series of things that you might need to follow to produce this consistent outcome.